Hello and welcome to Zero Cool Gaming and today's review of Starship Operators. Starship Operators is an anime that came out in 2005. It is 12 episodes, but each episode is 1 hour. So it's a pretty decently long anime. What is the anime about? Well, the anime is about a starship from the 23rd century. It's cadets that are taking it out on a test drive. And during their test drive, another kingdom decides to go ahead and take possession of their planet. And rather than returning the ship to port and having it decommissioned, the students on board decide to purchase the ship and use it against the kingdom that is currently in control of their homeworld. That's basically what this story is about. Now, there is a lot that goes on in this story. It is very well written, and it keeps you guessing. There's times in this story that I had no idea what was going to happen next. And it was written well enough that the tactics and ideas used actually seem plausible, like they might actually work. So what is this kind of anime story? I mean, what is it about? I would not call this an action anime. Again, I would call this more of a drama than an action because the emphasis is more on the story than the parts that link with, the action parts that link it all together. Starship Operators is an older anime, obviously. And, it seems to be a lot better written than some of the stuff we got coming out today. But regardless, it is a sci-fi anime. Obviously, it's, hundreds of years in the future when people are colonizing worlds beyond Earth. Essentially, it's, a bunch of young people who had just joined the military and didn't like the idea of their planet falling to what they believed or saw as a authoritarian control. In order to finance this endeavor, of course, these are a bunch of kids who are in the military. They don't have any money, so they kind of make a deal with the devil. They make a deal with a TV show called the Galaxy Network to fund, supplies and gear, ammunition for their vessel. And in return, the network gets to record everything that happens on the ship and essentially broadcast it live stream. Yeah, you could see there's a few problems with that. That also means that your foes can see exactly what you're doing and what you're thinking about and why. And at some point they actually use that to their advantage. Which I thought was cute. I mean, you'll only be able to get away with it once, but if you do it right, it'll work. Again, this show didn't get the best ratings from reviewers at the time. They didn't like the story, which I think the story is the best part of it. The animation I never thought was great, but they thought it was awesome. The art, they thought it was also great, and, well, when you see the art, you'll understand what I mean. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but clearly there is a disconnect between the viewers and the reviewers on this show. The people who watched it enjoyed it greatly for its story and didn't much care how the animation or the art was done. While the reviewers said the story was horrible and the only thing good about it was the animation and art. It's, you know, we live in clown world where everything is opposite. I've read a couple of reviews on it, and while they do get some parts right, it's like they were watching a different show than I did. They see what they want to see rather than seeing what's actually there. And it's obvious that that's exactly what they're doing with these reviews. They are seeing what they want to see, not what's actually been put in front of them. This movie does have, some similarities with Banner of the Stars, which is also another drama. It's a space drama, sci-fi drama. With all of that stated, let's go ahead and kind of get into the story itself. There's a synopsis of the story. I'll kind of break it down. And it goes kind of like this. In the 23rd century, cadets of the 73rd class of the Defense University of planet Kibi are returning from a final pre-graduation shakedown space voyage when war is declared by an invading alliance known as the Kingdom. Kibi's government quickly capitulates, but instead of standing down as instructed, the cadets decide to buy their space battleship and continue the fight against the Kingdom. And like I said, operating a battleship requires money and supplies. So their new captain cuts a deal with the Galaxy Network in exchange for financial backing. The Galaxy Network gets unrestricted rights to broadcast everything they do. And of course, their tactical specialist is opposed to this idea because, obvious reasons. She also doesn't really like the idea of war, yet she joined the military. Her tactical abilities combined with the teamwork of the crew are capable of seeing them through the early battles of this anime. Yes, absolutely. Oh, okay. I guess the disconnect with this guy was that he only watched 4 episodes, which was actually only 2 episodes. And there's 12 of them. And he just kind of made up the rest of it as he went. Good review. Good review. Okay, let's go ahead and read some other reviews from people. See what they have to say about it. I always find that interesting. This guy says, I do enjoy the science fiction of starship operators. The story is mixed. This is a serious story that is, for the most part, pretty good. It does a good job of giving you an overview of the universe in which the plot takes place and moves along at a pretty steady rate. The story revolves around a group of cadets for the Kiba military and their last training cruise. When their home planet is attacked by a rival known as the Kingdom, the cadets are left to fend for themselves. When their instructors all abandon the ship and surrender. They decide to fight, and their struggle is documented by a news network. I did find myself drawn into the story. It has a number of flaws. He says that it's too short and there just isn't enough time to develop the complex storyline. I didn't see that at all. I thought it was fine. Could it have been more in depth? Sure. But it definitely got the story across. There was no parts left out in that respect. The only thing that is skipped over were some of the parts of people's lives, which truly is not necessary for this story. Wow. Yeah, a lot of people just tear into this for reasons that I just do not understand because they really don't apply. But, these are other people. This is what they thought, so that's that. Um, okay. So, what did I think about Starship Operators? Personally, well, I thought it was a well-written story. I thought it was a interesting way of looking at authoritarian control trying to take over your nation or your planet or whatever. Um, and in the end, it was a story about exposing the corruption of not just the kingdom that they opposed, but the nations that sought to help them. Uh, it was a good twist. It was a good story. Like I said, it was well written. Um, and the end of it, it does end on a cliffhanger, but I think it was supposed to end on a cliffhanger to let you decide what was going to happen next, so that it wasn't just given to you in that respect. You had to actually think about, how is this going to go? And if, our own world is any indication of that, nothing was going to happen to the other nation, regardless of what they had done. It's just the nature of politics. Okay, well, that's my breakdown of Starship Operators. I hope you enjoyed it, and enjoy the rest of your day.